What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be making today is some rice pilaf. This is a favorite recipe of mine with very simple ingredients. As a matter of fact, this is almost one of those, empty your refrigerator type recipes where you just use things that need to go. Anyway, what I'm going to be using in this recipe is I have a cup and a half of white rice, a cup and a half of Orzo Pasta. I have 2 stalks of celery that I have diced up, 1 medium onion diced up. I have about 6 cloves of garlic, about 2.5 tablespoons of butter, 6 cups of water, which is basically double the amount of rice and Orzo pasta that we have, some olive oil. Now how I'm going to pump this up a little bit, I like this Sabauce Marinade a lot, and it's good for grilling and stuff like that, but one thing I noticed was this stuff is good in some rice pilaf, so we're going to be adding add some of this Sabauce to our rice pilaf. We're only going to be using about 4 or 5 tablespoons in it, just enough to kind of give it some of that flavor. If you are interested in Sabauce, maybe you've seen some of my other videos, I'm going to leave a link to their information in the description below. And if you order a certain amount, I believe it's 4 bottles, free shipping, and you get a basting brush. But this went so well in the last rice pilaf I made, I figured I would make a video on it. Anyway, that's how simple it is. I am going to bring the camera in because I've had a couple comments on another Orzo pasta recipe that I did, and people didn't know where to buy Orzo pasta or what aisle in the store, so you would buy that just with the normal pasta. A lot of stores don't carry it, and I also had somebody wanting to know what it looked like up close pre-cooked in comparison to rice. So come on in and take a look at these. So here's the white rice. Everybody kind of knows what the white rice looks like. This is what the Orzo pasta looks like. It looks just about like almost like a long brown rice. Orzo pasta is going to cook the same way as rice. If you're going to be using, for example, 1 cup of Orzo pasta, you're going to do just like rice and double that up with water. So you would always just double that, and it cooks, like I said, cooks the same way as rice. A lot of people have had Orzo pasta that may not have known that they've had it. I know there's some rice or rice-a-roni mixes that I remember eating as a kid that had Orzo in it. They also had some with the vermicelli in it, but my mom used to always buy the rice with the Orzo in it. Anyway, let's get over to the stove and get cooking. We're over at the stove. I have my burner on medium right now. We're going to throw in our butter and our olive oil. Let me take this off. This might be a little hotter than I wanted. So that's about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Yeah, I'm going to move this off the burner. I don't want that butter to burn, which looks like we caught it right in time. What I'm going to do now is we're going to add our Orzo pasta and our rice. And we are going to cook this until our rice and our Orzo pasta starts getting kind of a nutty brown kind of a look to it. So we've got our pasta and our rice kind of getting that golden brown look. We're going to go ahead and add our onions to it, our celery. I'm going to go ahead and add our garlic too right now. Sometimes I add that after I get done cooking this down. We're just going to do this all at once. And we're going to cook this down until the onions basically till the onions get translucent. Now we've let this cook for about another 5 minutes. Looks like our onions are getting that translucent look to it, so we're going to go ahead and add our chicken stock to it. And I'm going to add our secret ingredient. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some of that Sabauce. Like I said, all their information is going to be in the description below. And I'm going to go with about 4 tablespoons of it. Let's go with a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and mix this in. And I'm going to turn the burner up until we start getting the simmer on it. And I'm going to let it, once it starts simmering, I'm going to turn it on low. and cook it for about 20 minutes. Then we'll just shut it off and then let the residual heat kind of finish cooking it. So just to recap what we did, we brought it to a boil. I let it simmer. Once I let it simmer for about 15 minutes. I turned the heat down and let it sit for about 15 minutes. Now we're just going to go ahead and fluff it with a fork. And then it's just going to be time to see how this stuff tastes. Alright, so this is a done deal. Time for me to get in on this taste test. Now if I was trying to be formal and all that kind of stuff, I'd probably hit this with a fork. But since I'm standing up and there's a lot of a distance between here and my mouth, we're going to go ahead and rock this out with a spoon. Anyway. You know what texture reminds me of that old school rice-a-roni San Francisco treat? Got a little bit of extra something with that Sabauce Marinade. That's an optional ingredient. If you don't have it or just don't want it, don't rock it out. It'll still turn out good, but it does add a nice little subtle flavor to it. Anyway, before I take another bite, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Anyway, thanks for stopping by New Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.